The following is a presentation of IMG, America's home for college sports. Live from Quaker Steak and Lube on US 1 in Edison, this is the Chris Ash Show, your chance to talk with the head coach of the Scarlet Knights on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. Today's show is brought to you by To be a part of the show, give us a buzz on the Nissan call-in line at 877-384-1869. That's 877-384-1869. Now, let's go live to Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison to talk Rutgers football. Here's Chris Carlin.
Another outstanding crowd here at Quaker Steak and Lube on Route 1 in Edison for this week's edition of the Chris Ash Show. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. We are live on ScarletKnights.com on RVision and on 1450 AM WCTC in New Brunswick. I'm Chris. He's Eric LeGrand. You know that. Big E, how we doing?
I'm doing well, Coach. How are you?
Good. And, of course, the head coach of the Scarlet Knights is Chris Ash. Coach, good to be with you.
Good to be with you, too.
So as we get started, want to remind you, we want you to be part of the program. Our Nissan call-in number is 877-384-1869. 877-384-1869. You can tweet tweet us your questions at Rutgers Radio. That's at Rutgers Radio. And, of course, if you're in attendance, you can also come right up front here and ask a question as well to the coach. So, by all means, come on up and get your questions in for Coach Ash as Rutgers prepares for the Illinois Fighting Illini this coming Saturday at noon at High Point Solution Stadium. All right, Coach, off the loss to Michigan, fans obviously very disappointed with what happened, and I'm sure none of them more disappointed than you. Give us your take after the fact, looking back out of the game, what you took out of it.
Well, obviously, you mentioned fans are disappointed. Well, coaching staff and players are more disappointed than anybody.
Yep.
Everybody's invested in a tremendous amount of time and effort into trying to move the program forward, and we thought we were going in the right direction. And the last 2 weeks, we've taken some steps back, unfortunately. And I look at that game. There's not a lot of positives that we can take from it. We have to put it behind us. We're looking forward to the second half of the season. We got 6 games left, and we're very excited about our game this weekend. But just the second half of the season, to keep getting out there, getting better, and going to compete. And our players have had a tremendous attitude this week. We've had good practices, and as usual, I'm excited to see them rebound and get back out there on the field on Saturday.
And as you said, there's not many positives that you can take out of it, but what I'm looking at is getting some of those young guys experience versus the best in the country. Coach, can you talk a little bit about getting some of those young guys on playing time versus what you think are the best defenses and offenses in the country?
Yeah, there's no doubt that Ohio State and Michigan are very talented football teams. And we're playing some young players right now that are going through some trials and tribulations that you wish that they weren't, but they are. And they'll be better off down the road. I just look at our 2 corners, Isaiah Wharton and Bless Austin. Last year they got thrown to the fire and didn't necessarily have great years. But I'll tell you right now, those 2 guys are playing, I think, really good football. And we have a lot of trust in them, and they're making plays and doing a great job with what we're asking them to do. So if the young players that are getting time and action right now will progress and develop and improve like those 2 players have, I'm excited about the future for them.
One of the guys that's partially responsible for their success this year going to join us a little bit later on, and that is Rutgers assistant defensive backs coach Aaron Henry, who coaches up the corners. When you come out of a game like that, as a head coach, how do you address the team? Do you worry about the psyche when you've had the last couple of weeks that you've had?
Yeah, you always worry about that. After any loss, you worry about that. There's not a lot of words that can ease the pain, so to speak, after a loss like that. I mean, it's just being honest and up front that hey, we got our butts whipped. That's what it was. And can't hide that, can't blame it on anybody else. We put ourselves in that situation, and we played a good football team, and the end result was not pretty. And that's not what we want. That's not what we expect. That's not the future that we'll have down the road.
But along those lines, is it difficult to remind them that it only counts as one? and we still have 6 individual weeks, no matter what happened the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, our players get that. They know that. The first half of the season, I've talked about it plenty already. We played 6 games. We're a 2-4 football team. We played 4 teams that were in the top 25, 3 that are top 5 teams, and that's the schedule. It is what it is. We came here to play it, and they're going to play all those teams next year too. Just so we're all clear, we're going to play them again. But to have those 3 teams in the first half of the season was a challenge. And really, what gets challenged as much as anything is the depth of your football team and the health of your football team. We have 6 games to go that we feel like we can go out and have a chance to be really competitive and win football games, and our players see that and they know that, and they've come to work this week with the same attitude and focus and intensity that they've had every week, but more like the refocused attitude and approach that we had in week 1.
And Coach, what's it like now going over the film with them after the game? You try to get that taste out of your mouth, but you do, as you said, have to correct the film and go over the mistakes that you made. So what is that like with them going over that?
Well, we call Sunday Tell the Truth Sunday. We go through and evaluate the game from Saturday. We go through the goods, the bads. We talk about what happened and why there were good things, and we talk about what happened with the bads and who was wrong, whether it's calls, fundamentals, mental errors, whatever it is. We go through it and tell the truth. And this last Sunday it was not easy. The last 2 Sundays have not been easy to go and watch that game film. And we didn't watch it all. We watched what we needed to watch, and again, we moved on. Ohio State and Michigan are behind us. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We're not at that level right now, and we moved on, and we're ready and excited about the challenges that lay ahead.
And Eric, you've got a unique perspective on this because, and you brought it up to me before, and I hadn't thought about it. 2008, first half of the season, team really struggling, had some ugly ones, went 1-5. You closed the season by winning 7 in a row, including a bowl game. And it seemed like at that time, watching from the outside, that first win was against Connecticut, and it was a 12-10, and it was a field goal attempt that hit the upright at the buzzer. And that's how you won the game. And it seemed like it just kind of opened the floodgates for you guys.
It is exactly what we need. That year, I remember we were, a lot of people thought we were going to be a lot better than we were. We thought we would have more than 7 wins with the team that we had. And then everything just seemed like it went against us, and we ended up 1-5. But we just needed one little thing to go right, and it was that missed field goal that versus Connecticut. And from there, we rolled out, I believe, 7 or 8 straight that we needed to go on from there. But a lot on the leadership and not giving up on the team when we were in the locker room, Coach. And that leads me to my next question. Finding the guys that come out, it is 1 game, 1 week, but staying focused and being able to get everyone focused on that next week and not listening to the noise on the outside.
Yeah, I think we have outstanding leadership and character in our locker room right now, and they just show up with the same attitude. On Sundays it's tough. It's tough for everybody. It's tough for me, tough for coaches, tough for all the players. But that's what we do. I've been on both sides of games like that, and they're never easy. But our players have responded the right way. They've shown up and they get through it, and we move forward. And that's, again, a great testament to the leadership and the character of the kids in that locker room.
Once again, our telephone number, our Nissan call-in number, 877-384-1869, 877-384-1869, or you can tweet us your questions at Rutgers Radio. Let's get to a couple of individuals, some of the younger guys that you talked about. Well, first of all, before I do, unfortunate news with Greg Jones, unable to play football from here on, made the announcement, and you talked a little bit about it on Monday. How's Greg doing? Just really fortunate, the circumstances surrounding him at this point, that he didn't get injured further.
Absolutely, he is fortunate. He's disappointed, but it feels fortunate that he came out of it the way he is right now. But yeah, he got the news late last week that he would no longer be able to play football again. Greg's a tremendous young man, plays the game with a lot of passion, a lot of energy. A kid that earned a scholarship coming out of camp. He earned a starting position on the football team. And it's really, I feel bad for him, but again, he's very grateful and thankful that the pre-existing condition that he had was found, and it didn't cost him more than just playing football.
Hey, Coach, have you ever been in that situation before that in your career where you had to, I guess, get the news from the doctor that a player couldn't play anymore?
I have, yeah. I've been doing this a long time, and you see several players that get medically DQ'd for different reasons. Mm-hmm. And I can't say I've had one happen like it did with Greg, but I've had it from other things.
In his place this past week, Tyreek Maddox-Williams got the start. had 11 tackles against Ohio State a couple of weeks ago. How did you evaluate Tyreek? How has he done so far? Because as a true freshman, it's really getting thrown into the fire.
Yeah, he's getting thrown into the fire. He's started at a position that he did not get a lot of reps at before, but with Greg being out, Najee Clayton moving on, and some other injuries at the linebacker position, he was forced to action. And we put him in there in the middle of the Ohio State game and went on and had 11 tackles and played, I think, pretty good football. Made some mistakes last Saturday. It's different when you start a game like that and you go through the week of preparations and know you're going to be a starter. A little different pressure versus going in the middle of the game and just going to play. But I think the future for Tyreek is outstanding. He's a tremendous young man. He loves the game of football. He's tough. He runs exceptionally well. And I'm excited about him. That's one of those guys that we took late in recruiting, that we evaluated, that we thought, man, this guy really liked the way he plays. When we watched his film and we looked up, he had one offer. It was from Buffalo. He was going to Buffalo. And we took him, and he's one of the best freshmen we brought in.
And can you talk about the mental aspect now, what Greg Jones will have on him, helping him out, get through it and teaching him how to prepare? Getting thrown in the fire right away as a freshman is not easy.
No, it's not. But that's, again, speaks volumes to the character of Greg Jones. Greg is not feeling sorry for himself. He's out there at practice helping Tyreek. He's studying film with Tyreek, trying to help teach him the position and learn his keys and reads and reactions. And can't say enough about Greg and for him helping us and devoting his time to making Tyreek a better player.
Some of the other younger guys that have gotten a lot of playing time for your team. KJ Gray, let's talk just about some of the individuals. KJ getting an opportunity at safety, a guy that came in, they always listed him as athlete when he came in, but give me a sense of what you've seen from KJ, what you like, what he needs to work on.
Yeah, KJ's a young man that's getting a lot of action right now. Last Saturday we had Saquon Hampton and Kai Hester both out, and we used Ross Douglas and KJ Gray to play in their absence. And KJ's a young player, just keeps getting better every week. He's learning the defense better, he's playing better, he's tackling better, he's around the football more. And again, I think just like Tyreek, he's got a bright future. He's got to get bigger and stronger and learn to play the game faster and with more violence. But he keeps getting better, and I like the path that he's on right now.
And can you talk about a little bit what you've seen so far from Josh Hicks at the safety position? I know he got mixed in a little bit last year, but they're going back and forth to running back. Can you talk about his versatility?
Yeah, I love Josh. Josh did get moved to safety, but we've moved him back to running back. It was really an emergency deal with the injuries and the people that we were going to be missing. Josh went over, but Josh is now moved back to running back, and he'll be back to his natural position. And Josh is a guy that's got a lot of talent. That he should be out on the field helping us, and he will be as we move forward.
We got our first phone call of the night. Our telephone number, once again, the Nissan call-in line, 877-384-1869. Anthony is in Ridgewood, and he is up first tonight on the Chris Ash Show. Anthony, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's cooking?
Coach Ed, thank you for taking my question. I was just wondering what the status is with Kylan Oden. I've watched his tapes and his things like that. He just seems like a difference maker, a playmaker, a perfect fit for this offense. I remember you had called him a home run. I'm just wishing and thinking it would be great to get him out there. Your thoughts?
Well, Tylen's been out on the field, and he's made some good plays. He's obviously showed his youth and inexperience at times also, especially in the Ohio State game. Tylen is a guy that we recruited that we thought would be a perfect fit for our offense, but that doesn't mean he's ready to go out and play every snap at this moment. He's still learning things. It's one thing to be able to go out and play as a senior in high school. It's a whole nother to be able to go line up in college and go through and get the signals from the side, new signals, new offense, learn the reads that he needs to be able to make and make those decisions properly. He's obviously right now a lot better runner and a lot better in the run game than he is in the pass game, and we have to continue to improve his game in that area. But Tylen will continue to be on the field more and more as we go through this season. He's too good of a player to be sitting on the bench, and he brings a different dynamic to our offense. How much more he'll be out there really depends on how he continues to develop through the season in practice.
Generally speaking, as a coach, when do you feel comfortable coming to that line that this guy, at any position really, is ready to go out there and play? What do you need to see, not just see him making plays as far as what he can do physically, but also what he can do mentally on the field?
Oh, you earn those right. You earn that right to go play in practice. And Tylen has gotten better and more consistent in practice. And then when you get your opportunities, what do you do with your opportunities on game day? Do you make the most of them? And if you do, then you're going to earn the right to get more opportunities on Saturdays. But it all starts in practice with your preparation, or your guy that comes in, especially at the quarterback position. Will you put in the time to study film, study your notes, get to know your opponent, understand the offense, and go out and compete at a high level every day in practice? And if you are, and you've demonstrated the characteristics that we want at that position, and you can go out and play consistently, then hopefully you're going to get yourself in position to play on Saturday. And when you do, you got to make the most of them. And Tylen has done that to a certain extent. Again, the plays and presentation of the Ohio State game, they weren't great, but that wasn't just him. There were a lot of guys because of the talent on that football field. But I'm very high on Tylen. I'm excited about Tylen, and I expect Tylen to continue to be involved in our offense as we go forward.
I have a kind of interesting question here. During the season, you don't get that many reps. You have your ones and your twos. Get your reps. When you got a guy on the scout team running an offense that you may be similar to yours, do you take a little bit of an extra look at him to see how he's controlling the scout team so he can maybe get some more playing time with the ones and the twos?
Yeah, we evaluate guys on the scout team on offense, defense, and special teams every single day. Guys that go hard, guys that stand out, guys that want to do right and provide the best look for the whatever side of the ball it is. And we look at guys all the time. It is different, though. They're just offensively, offensive scout team player going out and reading a card and being told who to block, where to go, what to do with the ball is a lot different than actually going and doing it on a Saturday. Completely different. So guys are more relaxed at times on a scout team when they're just looking at a card and just going out and having fun than they are, when they've actually got to go when it's live. And but we do evaluate everybody that's on the scout team all the time.
And along those lines, we got our first tweet of the night. It's from @Malin Esquire. Coach, somewhat fitting here. Can a player be a great game day player and a bad practice player and succeed in your program?
Yeah. I mean, you don't find that very often.
No, I wouldn't think so.
It's amazing that, when you talk about players that have great practice habits, what do they typically have? Great performances on game day.
Yep.
And, to go out on game day, you have to earn the trust of the coaches and the other players. And we talk to other players all the time, too, about, hey, if we're making a decision between this player or that player, who do you guys trust? And you lean on the players a lot also. But, yeah, there are some guys that I've been around them. They're in our program that may not be great practice players, but we know what they're going to bring on game day. But it doesn't happen very often. It hasn't happened very often in my whole career. In 20 years of coaching, I haven't seen it a lot that a guy can be lazy and not very tough and make a lot of mental errors in practice, and he shows up on Saturday and gets it done. That usually doesn't happen.
877-384-1869. We've got a few calls on the line already. Charlie and also Mark, we'll get to you guys in just a few minutes, but we got time for you to talk to Coach Ash tonight. It is this week's edition, the Week 7 edition of the Chris Ash Show. Let's take our first time out. Later on, we're going to visit with Rutgers assistant defensive backs coach Aaron Henry in just a little bit. Stay with us. You're listening to the Chris Ash Show.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube, Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar that's open all year round, even in the winter. Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size, dining in or to go. Quaker Steak and Lube, 561 Route 1 in Edison, 732-777-WING.
Hi, Rutgers fans. Chris Carlin here for UPS. Your customers want more from your business, and you've got to make more happen, whether they're in Piscataway or on the other side of the world. Globally or locally, UPS is building solutions to help businesses give their customers exactly what they want. More made easy. UPS, official logistics company of Rutgers Athletics.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
Introducing the Rutgers Fan Exchange, powered by Tick City. Can't make it to a game and don't know what to do with your tickets? Looking for the best deals on the biggest games? Buy and sell tickets for all Rutgers home games through the Rutgers Fan Exchange, the only place to find seats from within the trusted Rutgers community. And you control the price. Every order helps support Rutgers athletics. Visit the Rutgers Fan Exchange at rutgersfanexchange.com. Looking for a place to watch all the Rutgers football action? Enjoy the games with fellow Scarlet Knights fans at these Rutgers Athletics official watch party locations: Hoboken's Cadillac Cantina, Tom's Rivers Baker's Water Street Bar and Grill, Freehold's Moore's Tavern and Sports Bar, Monroe Township's Baker's American Bar and Grill, and Quaker Steak and Lube's 3 locations in Edison, Brick, and Phillipsburg. For more information on the official watch party locations, please visit scarletknights.com.
Welcome back to the Chris Ash Show. Got a question for Coach? Dial us up on the Nissan call-in line at 877-384-1869. That's 877-384-1869. Nissan, proud partner of college athletics. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Innovation that excites.
We have returned to Quaker Steak and Lube on Route 1 in Edison, New Jersey for this week's edition of the Chris Ash Show as Rutgers prepares to take on the Fighting Illini of Illinois this week at High Point Solution Stadium. We will get back to those phone calls in a moment. You can also tweet your questions at Rutgers Radio. That's at Rutgers Radio. But we have our first question from a gentleman in attendance tonight. Sir, what's your name? Where are you from?
Chad, North Brunswick.
Chad, what's up? What's your question for Coach?
Coach, in that game, after the first half, the game was kind of out of reach, and I was just curious. A lot of times I know coaches like to look to see how the defense plays or how the team plays in the second half, just to make sure they're still fighting. And in the second half of that game, I saw that Harbaugh basically was running the ball every play, and they still were able to score a lot of points. What did you see out of your defense the second half of that game? Did you see guys maybe give up hope or anything? What did you see?
No, there wasn't anybody on that sideline that gave up hope. Our players came out of the locker room in the second half wanting to go out and play football. They love what they do. They love who they do it with. They love where they do it at. And they want to go out and play for each other. They ran the ball. We struggled to stop it no matter what. Whether it was the first team, second team, or third team, we struggled to stop it. We had some guys that are beat up. Our linebacking core right now, we talked about Tyreek, is beat up. Deontay Roberts is beat up. Trevor Morris walks around with a boot on all week, just so he can play on Saturday. We're at that point. And I mentioned also, the schedule tests your depth. It's testing our depth right now. But to say that anybody quit, no, nobody quit on that sideline. Nobody quit on that team. I know the score might indicate otherwise, but that did not happen. I watched that closely, and I told the team that's the one thing I was looking for in the second half. It wasn't about, hey, coming back and scoring points and all that stuff. We wanted to do that, yes, but I wanted to see a team that would continue to fight and play hard. And for my evaluation, they did that.
Thanks.
Yep, thank you.
Appreciate it, Chad. All right, let's hit the phones. Our Nissan call-in number, 877-384-1869. Our buddy Mark in Branchburg is up next on the Chris Ash Show. Mark, how you doing, bud?
Good, Chris. Chris, first of all, I'm going to miss you at the rack and doing Rutgers basketball. I just wanted to say that, number one.
I'll be there plenty. Don't worry. I'll be there watching the games, sitting like a fan and enjoying it, not always trying to blow out my voice every 5 seconds.
Hey, well, we'll miss you. Coach, a couple of young players. How is Hampton doing? And how is the young man from Texas, Bailey, doing? I know he's been banged up. How's he adjusting from coming from Texas?
Dominic Bailey, you'll start with him, is doing outstanding. He's just kind of like we talked about Josh Hicks. He's been on both sides of the ball already this year, more out of necessity than his wanting to. But he's done a great job. I think he's got a bright future here. He's one of the fastest kids on the football team. He could play wide receiver, running back, DB. He's on all of our special teams right now. He has had a cast on his hand, but he's getting healthy, and we've moved him back on offense, and hopefully he'll be a bigger part of our offense as we move forward. Saquon is a guy that continues to get healthy. He got hurt in the Washington game. We've really missed him. I think he's an outstanding football player, but he'll be back out there shortly.
I've been a fan for 40 years, and I'm really thrilled to have you as coach. Good luck for Saturday.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mark, for the phone call. All right, up next is Charlie in Woodbridge. Charlie, you're on the Chris Ash Show. Charlie, you there?
Hey, yes. Thank you for taking the call. First, I wanted to say the best to Greg Jones. And the second thing, Coach, what can you tell us about Illinois, since they're a little bit new, I think, to most Rutgers fans?
Illinois, is a team going through transition like we did. They're on their third football coach in the last year, and so they've gone through some transition. They've hired Lovie Smith, who's an outstanding football coach. He's a Super Bowl football coach. He took the Chicago Bears to the Super Bowl. I've had a lot of respect for Lovie. Over the years, I've gone to visit his football teams and his defensive staffs when he was with the Bears for a number of years, so I've got a lot of respect for him. He's trying to do the same thing, trying to build a program, build a foundation, get his kids to believe in what they're doing, and build it the right way. And he's got his guys playing hard, and it'll be a hard-fought football game this Saturday. They got good players on offense, on defense, and they got good schemes, and excited for the game. I know it's a new game for Rutgers fans and our players. We talked about that the other day. None of our players have played against Illinois. We really haven't even followed them much, but they're a new staff also, and it should be fun to see these teams match up on Saturday.
Really looking forward to the second half of the season, Coach. So best of luck. We'll be rooting hard for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Charlie, thanks for checking in. We've got another question here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison. Sir, your name, where are you from?
First name is Dennis from Gillette, New Jersey. Coach, first of all, welcome to New Jersey.
Thank you.
I don't want the jug handles and the traffic to be a deterrent. I hope you stay a long time.
Hey, I got no problem with them. I like them.
I want to talk to you about recruiting.
Yep.
How is that going? Since we have plenty of competition now from Michigan, Penn State, what are these young kids saying to you about getting them here at Rutgers?
Yeah, well, I'll start. You mentioned Michigan, you mentioned Penn State. A lot of people throw out Ohio State. There's 14 teams in the Big Ten, and guess what? There's competition up and down for every team. And here in the state of New Jersey, there's tremendous high school football talent here, and a lot of people want to come recruit them. So there's going to be competition, whether it's year 1, year 10, if we're 12-0 or 0-12. There's going to be competition for recruits, and recruiting's about relationships. And it's about trust, people being able to trust each other and feel like they're going to get a great experience and be developed and move on after football and have a chance for success. And we've built tremendous relationships with a lot of recruits here in the state in the class of 2017 and in the class of 18. We're excited about the guys that are committed to us right now. We're very excited about the guys that we continue to recruit every single day. And we have great relationships with them. And I think in the end, the guys that are committed will stay committed with us, and I think we'll have some really bright days ahead with the guys that are coming in.
Well, a lot of kids from Jersey, or is it all over the country?
No, our focus is mostly here in the tri-state area.
Okay.
We need to be able to – we want to recruit New Jersey players. I talk about my previous experiences a lot. Ohio State is really good. Why? Because of the state of Ohio and the players in the state of Ohio that go there. When I was at Wisconsin, our team was built on Wisconsin players. You look at Iowa, what does Iowa build their team on? A lot of Iowa players. We want to do that same thing here at Rutgers and build it with New Jersey-based kids.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
Yep, thank you.
Appreciate it very much.
And yeah, Coach, as we're talking about recruiting, seeing some of your top guys like Bo Melton and Mika Clark, tweeting that they're still committed to Rutgers. I don't care what happens there. This is what they want to be a part of, and they want to change the culture and start bringing those Jersey guys home. How does that make you feel, too?
Well, to start, I can't make any comments about any recruits.
Okay,
You can, I can't.
My bad, Coach.
No, but our class that we have put together right now is extremely loyal. They are loyal to each other. They're loyal to us. They're loyal to Rutgers, and they know that we can build great things here at Rutgers and effort to get it done. But I really like where we're at right now from a recruiting standpoint in the class that we're building and the support and loyalty that these guys give us.
All right, well, we'll take our next time out. When we come back, we will visit with Rutgers assistant defensive backs coach Aaron Henry. And before we take a quick time out, I wanted to ask you about him just from this standpoint. It's a little bit different. This is a guy that you coached. You brought him along with you at a couple of different places you've been. Now you coached him at Wisconsin. He was a grad assistant for you down at Arkansas. What did you see in him that you knew was going to make him a good coach?
Well, I'll start. He'll come up here. He'll grab the mic.
Right.
And he'll say that he made my career.
I've heard that there was some talk that he was actually lobbying for his radio show.
Yeah, well, between him and Coach Blazek, they're kind of arguing on staff on who should have their own. No, Aaron's a tremendous individual. Obviously had a great relationship with him when I was his coach and he was the player, and had a tremendous respect for him. And I thought if he wanted to get into coaching, he had a bright future. because of his character, his connection with players and people, and his work ethic and his determination to try to be as good as he can be. And I've watched Aaron grow as a player, as a coach, when he was a graduate assistant, and just talk to people that continue to work with him even after I left Arkansas. And when I got an opportunity to become a head coach, I knew Aaron was a guy I wanted to have on staff in some capacity.
Well, we will visit with him next. You're listening to The Chris Ash Show.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube, Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar that's open all year round, even in the winter. Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size, dining in or to go. Quaker Steak and Lube, 561 Route 1 in Edison, 732-777-WING.
We have a new player on the field, and he's ready for kickoff with a delicious ice-cold Coca-Cola. And the kick. Ice giving him a little trouble as a few cubes shake loose. He's probably going to pour it here, and he does. The glass is full. Can he go all the way? He did it! Oh, wow! And just listen to that fizz! That might have been the most refreshing thing that I've ever seen. Whew. Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
We live in an exciting time for medicine. Breakthroughs happen every day. The higher we raise the bar, the more we push ourselves to jump over it. Welcome to RWJ Barnabas Health. From clinical trials that are making cancer a thing of the past, to mapping the brain and seeing the future of neuroscience. From the latest in heart transplants to planting community gardens, we're enhancing the health and wellness of the millions of people we serve. With more than 41,000 medical professionals, 11 acute care hospitals, 4 children's hospitals, dedicated researchers, and partnerships with medical schools, we're delivering better health together to New Jersey, to Bayonne in Atlantic City, Livingston, Edison and Princeton, urban farms in Newark, family fitness trails at the Jersey Shore, and especially to you. Join us, and working together, your life will be healthier too. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. Visit rwjbhinfo.org.
Welcome back to the Chris Ash Show. Got a question for Coach? Dial us up on the Nissan call-in line at 877-384-1869. That's 877-384-1869. Nissan, proud partner of college athletics. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Innovation that excites.
Rutgers Athletics is committed to building championship contenders in the Big Ten. This commitment means the university must build premier training facilities for elite student athletes from New Jersey, the nation, and around the globe. To achieve this, Rutgers Athletics is embarking on the Our Big Ten Build campaign to raise $100 million for new and upgraded athletic facilities. Be all in and join our campaign today by visiting RutgersBig10Build.com. Want to thank all of our listeners for tuning in on 1450 AM WCTC in New Brunswick, and of course our viewers on ScarletKnights.com on RVision. For this week's edition of the Chris Ash Show, Rutgers getting ready for Illinois this coming Saturday at High Point Solution Stadium. Chris Carlin, Eric LeGrand, joined by Rutgers assistant defensive backs coach Aaron Henry, who just asked me a moment ago, so what do we got, 15 minutes, an hour? How long do you need me? And I said, well, I don't know, probably 10 or 12. He said, well, I can do the hour if we need to. You got plenty to say, huh?
Yeah, I got plenty to say.
Good to have you with us.
Thank you for having me on.
First of all, let's talk about your playing career. For those that are unaware, 2-time All-Big Ten defensive back at Wisconsin, 3-time All-Big Ten academic at Wisconsin, 7 career interceptions, tremendous player, not all that long ago up at Wisconsin. So when you think about your playing days, what do you draw from there to relate to the players today, especially since you're not that far removed from it?
To be exact, I think it was 8 career interceptions.
Oh, 8. I'm sorry. Well, then our media guide has it wrong.
Yeah,
I can talk to some people.
I'm
8.
Yeah, I try to keep it to myself, but it was 8.
Are you sure it wasn't wiped out by a penalty or anything like that?
It could have been, but I highly doubt it. You know, as a DB, you those things.
I love it.
But one of the things I try to draw from my playing career is, you know, I can remember Coach Ash coaching me and telling me to be extremely detailed. Sometimes I would consider myself not the most athletic guy, but I try to be a student of the game. And when you can take highly skilled young men, like the men I believe I have in my room, and try to make them very, very detailed and make them students of the game, I think that's something that I try to push into them every single day, because I think on that back end we have a ton of talent and we can do some special things. And I don't want these guys to be complacent, you know, because everybody talks about playing at that NFL level, you know, and potentially taking care of their families. And so if that's their dream and their goal and their aspirations, I want to be able to push them to get to them, you know.
Did you always know that you wanted to become a coach?
You know what? You know what's extremely funny? So in 2010, my head coach at the time was Brett Bielema, and he brought me in his office, and I was kind of nicked up a little bit. I had four knee surgeries in college, and he asked me, have I ever thought about coaching? And my words to him were, hell no. I'm a family-oriented guy. I got 9 sisters, grew up with grandma, and I realized how much time and devotion that coaches put into a game plan and how much time they have to sacrifice to not be with their families. And so that was something that I didn't want to really be a part of. When I ended up being done with the NFL and looking for jobs, and I worked summer everywhere, it really boiled down to, what did I love? 1, I knew that I loved the game of football, and 2, I knew that I loved being around people. I knew that I loved motivating people. I knew that I loved inspiring people. I had a line work of going into the ministry. I wanted to go into ministry, and I had something set up at another university, and I called Coach Ash. Prior to calling Coach Ash, they ended up inviting me, him and Coach B, out to Arkansas at the time to come do a camp, and the rest was kind of history. That was kind of the start of my coaching career.
So when you went to visit, what was that moment where you said, "Yep, this is it"?
Okay, so not to toot my own horn or whatnot, but I was a pretty...
No, we've covered that's not a problem
no
so
doubt,
far.
No doubt. I was a pretty good, I guess, host per se. So I go out there. They flew me out there to camp. It was like a 3-day high school camp. I think they had like 15 guys that they offered that were coming to that camp. And the 15 guys that they offered, 9 of them end up committing. Well, the 9 that committed were the only 9 that I actually had a conversation with. I had a conversation with them and their parents, and I was selling them not only on the head coach at the time, but I was selling them on Coach Ash. I was selling them on our program, and I was selling them on a lot of the similar things that we did at Wisconsin. Well, at the time of me selling them on those dreams and what we could accomplish there, everybody thought I was already one of the assistant coaches. They didn't know that I was there to visit. They didn't know that I had just had a ton of other jobs. And so when they went into the office with the head Coach Brett Bielema at the time, a lot of the mothers, per se, kept asking him who was the young coach. And at the time I had a bunch of hair with dreads. And he told them that I was one of my former players. And I guess the rest was kind of history, you know.
Well, I got to ask you now. You see, like you said, so positive. Keep everyone. You want to motivate everyone.
Yes, sir.
And inspire everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are some of the difficulties you have come across with coaching?
You know, a lot of times these young men, and I was one of them, they think they know it all. Mm-hmm. You know, they think they know it all, and they think they have all the answers, and they think that
especially you DBs.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. They think that adults are old and they don't know nothing and they haven't been through nothing, and so I think a lot of it, especially being a young coach, a lot of them have a tendency to just bump heads with coaches in general because they feel like a coach can't relate to them. Mm-hmm. And so I just think that's just an overall problem with not just college football players, but young men in general. Mm-hmm. You know, we live in a social media society where guys want instant gratification. I mean, world news is at their fingertips. Immediate information is at their disposal. immediately. I mean, it's they can get it within a second. And so when you have something like that, a lot of these young men, they don't want to wait around for something to grow or to move forward in something because they can get it immediately. And I think with a lot of my guys in my room, I have a tendency to be an old soul. I try to take them back to, I guess, how I grew up in a sense, and really bring them back home when they find themselves either struggling with academics or struggling at home or struggling with small things. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it's pretty cool that I'm on staff because I'm not only able to be a coach but a real mentor to these young men because I was literally in their seats a couple of years ago.
I mean, that's got to work as a huge advantage that you really are that close to them. Let's talk about a couple of your players individually. Coach already mentioned Isaiah Wharton and Blesson Austin. Tell me about your starting corners right now and what impresses you the most about them, and also just, Aaron, how their confidence level has jumped up as quickly as it has because, you know, Eric and I and Ray Lucas in the booth, you can see it right away that they are very comfortable in what they're doing as opposed to last year with the true freshmen trying to run out there and figure out what they're doing.
No doubt. I think that's due in large part to one, they did have a year to get better. Yeah. You know, I mean, being oftentimes freshmen don't come in and make an immediate impact. They did have a year to get better. But on top of that, I think a lot of times players are a direct reflection of their coach. I happen to be, obviously being a DB guy, I'm extremely confident. I obviously you guys can see that, right? I'm extremely confident no matter what situation I've ever been put in. I felt like I was going to come out on top. And so what I try to push and feed into these young men is my confidence. Even if it's sometimes false pushing it into them, I think the idea of confidence and pushing it into these young men is very, very motivating for me because I get to see it from the classroom to the field and to their academics. Not only do I think they've gotten better as football players, but they've gotten better in the classroom as well. You know, and I know a lot of times people on the outside looking in, they can't see those small differences, but I'm not here to just motivate these young men for football. I'm here to motivate them for life. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I think when you have people like that in your life, you're more prone to play for them even that much harder.
Absolutely. And with confidence usually comes success.
Yes, sir.
And how do you teach your players how to handle success now?
I think that's obviously we're 2-4 right now. So I think that just comes with time. You know, that comes with time and experience, and through the more experiences that they go through, I think it's kind of a teaching progression a little bit. Eventually they'll be able to deal with it, but I can promise you guys in my room daily, my guys are going to know how to handle success when it does hit. And when I say success, I'm not just talking about for the room. I'm talking about for the team. And we also got to take into consideration these young men are 18 to 22 years old. Yeah. You know, when most of you guys were 18 to 22 years old, what were you doing, you know, when you had a little bit of success? So we can't forget that. And a lot of times as fans or as coaches, we want these young men to be 30 years old and think like adults think. But they're not yet, you know, in reality. They're not. And so it takes a little time.
At the position in particular, we're talking to Aaron Henry, Rutgers assistant defensive backs coach. You've been talking about being super confident.
Yes, sir.
But short memory has to be part of that, too.
No doubt.
Is that the case from your experience at this position more than anywhere else on the field?
Can you ask me that question again?
Well, is it the case
I got a bad
that
memory.
I like that.
No, I think especially for a cornerback, right? They get targeted a lot. If you face a passing team like we're going to face this week, they get targeted a lot in one play, or let's correlate this to life so everybody can relate to it. If one incident in your life defines you as a human being, you're probably not, when it's all said and done, not going to have that much success. Or you're probably going to take that one isolated situation and kind of beat yourself up about it, you know, and misery loves company, right? So you're going to find somebody else that kind of does the same thing. I think if we want to correlate this to football, you know, cornerbacks or DBs or defensive guys in general, they have to have a short memory. Mistakes are going to happen, you know, things are going to occur. Things that you don't like, you know, are going to occur. There's going to be some kind of adversity. We just talk about this the loss that we just had, 78-0. It is one game. You know, it is. It doesn't define our season. But if any one of you guys in this room can show me somebody who has had a lot of success, that has had no struggle, no pain, no adversity, if you can show me who they are, I'll give you my paycheck. And it's funny because there is nobody who has had major success, whether we're talking about college football, whether we're talking about Apple, whether we're talking about Beats by Dre. Nobody who has had major success never went to any kind of struggle, you know. And so for these young men, you know, I'm constantly trying to get them to realize, okay, you're going to make mistakes. Things are going to happen. Coach Ash is going to yell, you know, but you got to forget about it. You got to keep playing, and you got to keep enduring, you know.
And that's a great way to handle it. And I got to ask all the other coaches this because you guys aren't from usually around here. So
no doubt.
How's New Jersey treating you?
You know what? New Jersey has been awesome. So my first, I want to say 2 weeks in New Jersey when I first got here, I decided to go to New York City by myself. Right?
I remember that. Those pictures actually.
Right. That's like the worst thing you can do according to Coach Ash. So I tell him I'm headed to New York City. And he says, you can't go alone. You can't go alone. It's crazy. It's crazy. You're going to be overwhelmed. And obviously being a small town country boy, you know, I decide to get on a train. And people are a little different in New Jersey, you know. This Floridian gets on a train and speaking to people, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Can you point me in the right direction? And people just put on their headphones and kind of tune me out. And so I guess that was my first taste of Jersey, an actual train station. But no, people here have been absolutely amazing, especially the fan support. It's been awesome. Continue to show us love. Thank you guys for all the support. It's been really, 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 really sweet.
One last one. Little Birdie told me that you actually lived with Coach Ash when you were in Arkansas.
I did. I got some stories too.
Anything you can share?
You know what? I think it'll have to be like off the record per se. No, but so when I first got to Arkansas, I first got there. I had nowhere to live, obviously, and Coach Ash took me in. It was awesome. I get to live with the guy. It was probably about 2 weeks. I get to live with the guy who coached me, who had this mean streak, who was ferocious and fierce, and we go home one night. You know, I mean, he's an ordinary guy, man. You know, you I think sometimes as a player, you boost your coach up to be like Superman. You know, you like he's everything. You know, and he's an ordinary guy. He watches TV. He hangs out. He loves his family. Absolutely loves his family. Loves his wife. Spent a lot of time with him. But the guy, he may be a robot. I mean, he literally may be a robot. In my time with him, when I was there, we would get home at like 11 from the facility. It was like a 20-minute drive. And this guy would I guess it was a nap in his mind. He would wake up at like 4:30 and like be ready to go and ask me, was I ready? And I'm like, Coach, no, I'm not ready to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to get up and get my life straight. You know, I've only been here a couple of days, like settle down, you know, but it was pretty cool living with him. That just gave me a taste of what kind of human being he was when he did get a head coaching job, because I knew this was something he wanted, even when he was my position coach and playing for him, man. So it's so cool to see his actual dream come to fruition today here in Jersey.
I just want to make sure 4.5 sacks I also have. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir. I had 3 in one game.
Okay, we didn't ask that. 23 pass breakups.
Yes, sir.
Is that accurate?
Yes, sir. That's
okay,
accurate.
8
That's
interceptions. Okay. We'll check into that.
Yes, sir.
Aaron, thanks for coming down tonight.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
That's it.
I appreciate you guys.
All right. Aaron Henry, Rutgers assistant defensive backs coach. Coach Ash rejoins us in a moment. This is the Chris Ash Show.
Don't just say you're a diehard fan, show it. Nissan's giving you the chance to win a custom-wrapped 2017 Titan, decked out in your school's official colors. To enter, go to diehardfan.com/sweepstakes, and you could turn your garage into the ultimate fan cave. Nissan Titan, take on game day. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Starts 9/1/16 at 12:0001 a.m. EDT and ends on 10/23/16 at 11:59:59 p.m. EDT. Open to residents of the USDC. 18 and over. Official rules visit www.diehardfan.com/sweepstakes. Sponsor Nissan North America, Inc.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube, Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar that's open all year round, even in the winter. Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size, dining in or to go. Quaker Steak and Lube, 561 Route 1 in Edison, 732-777-WING.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
This commercial is brought to you by Brother International, the makers of fax, printers, multifunction printers, scanners, sewing, and embroidery machines. Brother is always at your side.
You can make business cards with your name, print from hiking, hang and frame, sew some shades, block the sun, keep out creepy peeping toms. With Brother at your side, always good times. You got a brother at your side, and whatever follows always ends up in good times. You can make a basket cover for your cat, another for his brother, so they both match. No more mess, make the best label, all relieve that stress. Brother's always undercover and always around. 106 years, better keep on counting. You got a brother at your side, and whatever follows always ends up in good time. With the brother at your side, with the brother at your side.
The Chris Ash Show continues on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. Now back to Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison to talk Rutgers football. Here's Chris Carlin.
Well, you aren't kidding. He can certainly talk. He can fill some time, no doubt about that, Coach.
Yeah, the show's almost over, and it feels like we just got started.
I think Eric and I asked him maybe 3 questions altogether.
Yeah, I know that type of personality. I like it, though, Coach. It's going to be good for the players.
Well, between him and AJ, I don't know who talks more.
Let's talk a little bit about, he just said AJ, let's talk a little bit about Illinois. I touched on them a little bit. They've got an injury concern at quarterback with Wes Lunt. Tell us about the Illini this year under Lovie Smith, and do you see kind of his pro influence in what they're doing?
Absolutely. Lovie is, in my opinion, one of the best defensive coaches in the game of football, regardless of the level. And again, studied his defenses for a number of years throughout his NFL career, and you see what he's put on the field there at Illinois. It's his defense from what he's been used to doing. So there's a lot of pro influence, not only from him, but a lot of the coaches that are on his staff too that have joined him from the NFL ranks too.
And when you're going against a quarterback that has 2 different skill levels, you have one guy who can be just a pro style, and you got a dual threat. How hard is that to game plan against and making sure your guys are ready to deal with both?
Well, it's hard, but in this day and age in college football, you face so many different styles of offenses from week to week, whether it be pro-style, drop-back type of guys or runners or shotgun guys that are dual threats. So we just have to be aware of who's in the game. You may have particular calls that you make against one quarterback versus the other quarterback. You talk about those types of things throughout the week in your preparation, but you have to. The players have to be aware of what types of plays they will see based on the quarterback that's in the game. And as long as you've trained them a certain way to handle multiple types of offenses throughout the course of training camp and just your prep in general, usually they can handle it well usually. And
you talked a little bit about their defense. Hardy Nickerson is their defensive coordinator, terrific linebacker for a long time in the NFL. His son is also on the team, I believe as a tight end if I'm not mistaken. But defensively, what is their scheme? Are they a 4-3, 3-4? Or really at this point in college football, is it just you see so many multiple different fronts that it almost doesn't matter in a lot of ways anymore?
No, there's 4-3 teams or 3-4 teams, and there's teams that are very multiple that do a lot, Lovie Smith's background has been to be a 4-3 guy. We're a 4-3 football team also, but he's a 4-3 guy. Everyone talks about Tampa 2. Cover 2, well, he invented that. He and Monty Kiffin invented that during their time in Tampa Bay. So he's been an innovator and change agent for football with that. But that's what they do.
All right, we'll take a step out, and we'll come back, chat a little bit more about the Illini before we wrap things up. Game is this coming Saturday, High Point Solution Stadium, and it is a 12 noon kickoff, so make sure you're in your seats early. Rutgers and Illinois this week. One more time out. You're listening to The Chris Ash Show.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube, Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar that's open all year round, even in the winter. Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size, dining in or to go. Quaker Steak and Lube, 561 Route 1 in Edison, 732-777-WING.
When you're looking for tickets to that sold-out event, there's only one place to go. TickCity.com, the official secondary ticket partner of Rutgers Athletics. Scarlet Knight fans can save 10% on all orders when you use the discount code Rutgers at checkout. From sporting events to the hottest concerts, Broadway and family shows across the country, all your ticket needs are covered at your fan-friendly ticket source. TickCity.com. That's TickCity.com.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
The Scarlet Knights show us what dedication means year after year, and now they're back and ready to give it their all with the high-quality protein of Dual Fuel. Developed in partnership with Rutgers strength and conditioning coaches, Dual Fuel performance bars and shakes provide elite athletes with the fuel they need to power through the toughest workouts. Give your body what it needs to win on and off the field with Dual Fuel bars and shakes, an official nutrition partner of Rutgers Athletics. Available at campus retailers or at rutgers.dualfuelnutrition.com.
Let's say you're a couple.
Honey, we're a couple.
The kind of couple who needs AT&T's new plans with no overage charges so you can post and share without risking extra data charges?
Yep. That's us.
Then you need AT&T's new plans with no overage charges. Perfect for the no overages, no worries kind of couples. AT&T, mobilizing your world.
On AT&T Mobile Share Advantage plans, after you use all your high-speed data amounts, data speeds are reduced to 128 kilobytes per second. Posting, streaming, and other data use may not work. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
We have returned to Quaker Steak and Lube. Wrap up last couple of minutes with the Rutgers head coach Chris Ash as the Scarlet Knights prepare for Illinois this week. By the way, I'd be remiss in not mentioning that it is homecoming this week. And that's always a little extra special, no doubt.
Absolutely. Get a bunch of former, whether it's player, alumni, or just alumni of the university coming back and enjoying a good weekend with the Scarlet Knights. It's always fun.
Are you excited to see your first Rutgers homecoming?
Absolutely. I hope you're there.
I'll be there. God willing.
He's there every week. I'll tell you what, student section last week did a tremendous job. They were into it from the get-go.
Yeah, they did. I don't get a chance to really pay much attention to them during the game. You just get locked in that zone. But pre-game, watching them fill up the student section there and just watching them enjoy the environment, create an outstanding environment in the stadium is awesome. That's what we want to do for every game.
One more. I just wanted to, before we go, one more player that really stuck out to me. You know, we don't like to see him much, but the punter, Citron. Rutgers has struggled over the past few years in the punter game, but can you talk about the job that he's been able to do so far?
Yeah, he's done an outstanding job. He's really improved. When he first punted it back in spring, boy, this guy's going to struggle. And I'll tell you what, he improved throughout the course of spring, but the work that he put in the summer and the drive and determination that he had to go out and be the best that he could be has really developed into a nice punter. I'm not going to lie to you, when Peppers took that one back, I wanted to strangle him. He was supposed to kick it out of bounds, and he didn't. So that was the one time I wasn't real happy with Michael.
Coach, good luck. We'll see you on Saturday.
No, thank you guys. I appreciate it. It's always fun.
Absolutely. We'll be here next week for next week's edition of the Chris Ash Show. Every Wednesday night, Quaker Steak and Lube here in Edison on Route 1. They do a phenomenal job for us week in and week out. Thanks to Colin Osborne, Paul Schrager, Hasim Phillips. For Eric and the coach, I'm Chris. Thanks for joining us on the Chris Ash Show.
You've been listening to The Chris Ash Show on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. The Chris Ash Show has been brought to you by